I ain't as handsome as Big Mike, but I am hosting today's show. If you're watching this here on the Loyal BBN Fan Show, my name is 21 Crump. You've probably seen me a couple times. I've got my main man, Jimmy, over here. Jimmy, how you doing today?
Hey, man, I am doing great, 21. Hey, I love it that we can get together and do things like this. This is awesome.
I know, man. It's truly a gift from God, man. I really love that being a Kentucky fan means that there's never too much Kentucky to talk about. Never too much. Jimmy, we have a ton of news. It seems like it's a slow point in the season, but because of how well you stay on this recruiting and all this other stuff, man, we got plenty of stuff to talk about. Bear with me just a moment. I'm gonna ping out our Discords really fast, just so that way folks in there know that we're going live. But Jimmy, how are you feeling about our chances in the SEC tournament?
The SEC tournament, I really feel good. I'm telling you, I want Georgia to win that game against Oklahoma. I do not want to face Oklahoma again because I know we can beat them, but I want to get that revenge game against Georgia. And then going into that playing Alabama, it's going to be hard to beat a team 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to take Alabama, their whole SEC is going to be painted blue when that game comes on. And I believe that's going to be like a 9:30 game on Thursday night. And we are going to show up. I believe this game is going to be a remarkable game. And I believe that Pope is going to say, hey, they've gotten us twice. They got us at home. They got us away. They beat us pretty good both times. Let's go ahead and get this win.
Yes, sir. I mean, I agree with you. It's going to be very, very, very hard for a team to beat you 3 times. Now, it doesn't seem like it's streaming over here on the Loyal BBN Fan Show, so I'm encountering some technical difficulties really fast, so just bear with me just a moment. Let's see here. Now, with who do you think is going to be the dark horse in the SEC tournament?
Man, I have looked. I mean, I mean, you really can't say Arkansas because they're favored. They should be favored against South Carolina. I'm gonna think that Vanderbilt could be a team that comes out and plays Texas A&M and makes a upset there and going in and playing Tennessee, and that'd be Vandy and Tennessee playing in Nashville. That's going to be a big game. Other than that, I mean, I don't think that Mississippi is going to have a hard time against LSU. Missouri ought to win that game no matter what coming into Florida. But I would say that Vanderbilt game, and I mean, I'm not saying Arkansas because they should win that game, but I'm going to say the dark horse would be Vanderbilt coming out, maybe beating Tennessee and coming out and playing, as long as Auburn comes on out, it could be Vanderbilt playing Auburn on Saturday to go to the SEC championship game.
See, here, let me pull this up. I didn't get, you weren't on that show with me and Mike the other day when we kind of made our predictions a little bit, so I'm kind of glad I've got this opportunity to put this up here because I want to hear your thoughts on it for sure. Let me scroll down here. We're going to talk about a bunch of the tournaments today. Me and Jimmy are just going to keep talking until there ain't nothing to be talking about anymore. So, now Jimmy, looking at this bracket. Let me pop back over here. Looking at this bracket here, Jimmy, we've got Vandy in Texas, which I think Vandy's got that. I think Vandy does have that. What about you?
Yeah, I believe Vanderbilt will win that game. Yeah, Vandy. I'll take them. Yes.
Okay. And then, so you said Arkansas. Arkansas is going to beat South Carolina. I agree with you there. And then Mississippi State and LSU. I don't know of anyone that's picking LSU for that.
No. I mean, you would be. Yeah. You're going to want to win a big bet if you take that game, but I would take Mississippi State. Yes.
Am I betting with Jimmy money?
No, you bet with my money. I want half of it, but yeah. I'm not saying that it's going to be a landslide that Mississippi State wins, but I think Mississippi State will. I think they'll win that game.
Okay. Let's see here. Georgia, Oklahoma.
Georgia, Oklahoma, I believe that will be a great game, but I believe that Georgia will have more fans. I believe that Georgia will show up. I believe that they will win that game. And the thing is, I hope they win that game. I want the rematch. We've done beat Oklahoma. We don't have anything to prove with them. We have that loss at Georgia at the beginning middle of I believe it was middle of January, and we want to get that win back on our resume and say, okay, yeah, they beat us. Well, we got them back. We got them back.
Now, for me, I feel like this Georgia-Oklahoma game is the toughest game to pick. Man, Oklahoma, don't get me wrong. It's the SEC. Everyone's kind of underperformed where everyone thinks they're at. Don't get me wrong. But I really feel like Georgia is just one of those teams that only plays well at home. And I get what you're saying about them having more fans there and that kind of thing. But this would be Oklahoma's first time in the SEC tournament. So maybe they'd get a big turnout. And Oklahoma do have some certified studs. Don't get me wrong. Georgia has a couple good players too that can make a difference on any given night. And I feel like Georgia plays the opposite, kind of like how Oklahoma does. I think.
Well, yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I mean, this is the first SEC tournament that Oklahoma's played in. So, I mean, they are going to be fired up. But I believe that Georgia's going to have probably the fan base, and that there's going to be teams that's watching that game. I mean, South Carolina, Arkansas, Texas, Vanderbilt, LSU, Mississippi State. All those fans are probably going to be sitting there watching that game at the very end, and they're going to pull for whoever they want to pull for. But I still believe that Georgia will have more fans than Oklahoma. But yeah, I'm still hoping that Georgia wins that game. I mean, they're the higher seed or the lower seed, so I'm glad that they are, and I love that rematch.
Yeah. Hey, so I just wanted to say, I know you all can't see the chat on the screen right now. I've got Mike's chat pulled up on my computer right next to me. So Lord Withrow, Classroom Snitch, I see you all. I see you all. Don't worry, your comments aren't going to go unnoticed. I promise. And we'll keep rocking it out. I'll be able to show the people that are on my channel, like Kentucky Rick, right now. I'll be able to show his comments on stream, but I will acknowledge you if you do come into the chat, and everyone's voice will be heard here for sure. So Jimmy, your official pick is Georgia on that. I think I said Oklahoma would win that game on mine and Mike's episode the other day. I hate to be a flip-flopper, but I think I agree with you, man. The more that I think about it, I think Georgia's going to win that game. and it'll just be a bad. I don't like Oklahoma anyway, so I don't feel bad about it. But I mean, it'll just be a rough welcome to the SEC. Oklahoma. Hey, what's going on, Mike? We got the loyal BBN fan show in here. He's checking in on vacation, making sure we doing right by his channel. We got you. We got
Oh
you.
yeah, we got you, Mike. We got you, Big Mike.
But man, I can't remember where I was going with that now. I apologize. Yeah. The more that I think about it, I think Georgia's gonna beat Oklahoma. And this is what I was gonna say. What a rough welcome to the SEC Oklahoma has had as a program in general. I mean, they come to the SEC this year in basketball, and they get the greatest SEC there has ever been. And then last year in football, they had all them injuries and everything. And man, it just hasn't been too good for them. I'll tell you that. Welcome to the SEC. Lord Withrow says, OU wins. Fears goes off. Man, for some reason, it's not showing it on here now. Let's see.
Well, but it's the same thing with Texas. They're a 13 seed right now in the SEC, but Oklahoma is one team that a lot of people are looking and saying, hey, they are a NCAA tournament team. They probably might need this win against Georgia, but they might be in regardless. Texas has to beat Vanderbilt.
Yes.
There's no way Texas is getting in unless they beat Vanderbilt, and probably they would have to beat Texas A&M.
Yeah. Jeff Dowdy just said, hey, fellas, go Big Blue. Either way, it doesn't matter if it's Georgia or Oklahoma. He said that we got it. I think so, too. I think we got it. I think Georgia would be a tougher game for us. I know. Go ahead.
Yeah, I want them tough games. I don't want it to be playing Oklahoma and we win by 18, 19, 20 points. If we play Georgia, we win by 5 or 6, and end up go ahead and let's just get this extended lead and win it by 10 or 12. I want that game to be where it is a great game for us to get settled down, win our first game. Let's get comfortable being in the locker rooms, in the arena, being there. And Alabama has not taken a shot yet in the Bridgestone Arena, except for them shooting around for warm-ups. Kentucky's already going to have a feel for the arena, everything, and I want us to have a tough game. I'd rather it be Georgia. If it's a tough game, let's have it. Let's get it out of the way. Let's play Alabama and get it on.
Yeah. How you doing, Rick Brown? Welcome in. I know you can't see the chat on the screen, but we'll try to catch everyone that comes in. Lord Withrow has another question. He says, "Here, before I get to your question, Withrow, I have a question of my own. Jimmy, with you being the heart and soul of BBN, you are our national treasure. Okay, how do you feel? What do you think is the expectation for Kentucky going into the SEC tournament? What do we need to do for you to not be upset?"
Win the first game. If we play Alabama and we play a great game, I'm going to be real happy because we'll still be right there at a 3 seed in the NCAA tournament. I don't know that Kentucky can improve anymore because if we beat Alabama, okay, say Florida comes out, we beat Florida. If Auburn, Tennessee, whoever comes out at the top of the bracket, and we win that game on Sunday, the Sunday game will not count. It's going to count for us, yes, for the Kentucky fans. But if we get to Saturday and we have won, that could make us a number 3 top seed or maybe the lower 2 seed. I believe we're right there on the verge, but hey, let's just win the first game. I don't care anything about it. I'm gonna excited. I know I hate the 9:30 games, but hey, I'm gonna be up. I'm gonna be excited. I'm gonna be cheering my cats on, and my expectations is just like Pope said. Let's win this whole thing.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Lord Withrow asked, he said, the real question is, how do we feel about the Bama game? And he also said, do we think winning this tourney is harder than winning the NCAA?
Yes.
I'll say, yeah, the second question is definitely it is harder to win this SEC tournament than the national tournament for sure.
I mean, all these teams are going to be spread out. 13 teams amongst 64 teams. You're going to have SEC teams in this bracket, down here, this bracket, down here. They can't all, or they can all come together and play. All these other teams are going to be like, I wish we wouldn't have to play an SEC team.
Yeah, for sure. For sure, I agree with that.
And a lot of the SEC teams are going to be like, I'm glad we're not playing any other team. I'm glad we're not playing SEC teams. We're playing everybody else because nobody else. I believe if this team's in the SEC does what they do, we could have an Elite Eight with at least maybe 4, 5 teams in the Elite Eight.
Yeah, man, that's crazy. That's what do you think the all-time record is for that?
I've never looked that up, but I don't know that there's ever been 4 straight teams in the Final Four from the same league, or Elite Eight with 5, 4, 3 teams. I don't know exactly what the records are, but if they do it this year with what we have done in the SEC, not Kentucky, I'm talking about the SEC, what they have done, and compared to the ACC, the Big East, we talk about the Big 10, Big 12. We're going to have more teams than any of those, and all those teams are really doing pretty good.
So I just looked it up. The ACC, so leagues with 3 or more teams in the Elite Eight in the same season since 1975. The ACC has done it 4 times. Their most recent time was 2016. And the SEC has only done it once, and that was in 1986.
You talking about the Final Four or Elite Eight? Or
that's
what?
Elite Eight. That's Elite Eight.
Elite Eight? Well, yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, it is definitely going to be a historic year for the SEC in general.
Yeah, but the thing is, how efficient was those teams, and what was their rankings? Was they in the top 15, top 10? It might have been lucky that they got in there. Does it make up for what they had if the SEC does it this year, having all those teams come together at one time and just clash?
Man, I just tried to look into it a little bit more, and it doesn't give me anything clear.
Yeah,
I'll tell you that. With the rest of this, here, hold on, we got a few more people up in here. Hold on. Sorry if I missed anybody's chat. Let's see here. Core member said record for teams from one conference in the tourney is 11 Big East teams in 2011. But that's not like the Elite Eight, that's just in.
Oh yeah, I think that's been a while back. But yeah, SEC getting 12, 13 teams. That's a record.
Yeah,
And
SEC
I don't know
supremacy.
that that'd be a record that could ever be broke.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Unless you have a 24 team conference.
Yeah, this has been just a crazy year for the SEC. I tell you that, man. I love and hate it at the same time because I'm so used to us just dominating the SEC.
Well, me
Hey,
too. And the thing is, yeah, it's okay to be dominant and win everything. But the thing is, when you're dominant, you actually have to win it, to be in it. And then when you get to the NCAA, all these people are looking at you saying, you ought to win the national championship. And when you don't,
yeah, when you don't, when you don't.
yeah, yeah.
Let's see here. So there's a lot of people over here in the Loyal BBN Fan Show chat as usual. So thank you all for coming out. I know this is a kind of a different setup. Mike is currently on vacation, so I'm doing what I can right now. So if you would like to see your comment up on the stream, I'm gonna post my channel link in here. I've just had some technical difficulties getting this set up. So if you would like to, like I said, see your chat on screen. There will be a link in the chat for you to go over to my page, and you'll be able to see it from there. So just bear with me. I'll get that posted. All right, there we go. Let's see here. Lord Withrow said, I see a lot of Final Fours with two teams from same conference in the same Final Four, but not more than that. Yeah. Is there a chance? Here, Jimmy. Since we're on the topic, I'm gonna pull up the bracket right now. Of course, the bracket will be a little bit different, come Selection Sunday. But let's take a look at it right now, and let's see if there's a chance for the SEC to have 4 teams in the Final Four. Do you think that's possible?
In the Final Four, yes, I really do. Yeah, it is very possible. I mean, I know the brackets don't come out until Sunday afternoon, but I'm pretty sure that we've got 1 seeds, 2 seeds, 3 seeds, that can make it to the Final Four.
James, I'm pretty sure Arkansas is safe. They're safe to make it into the tournament. I'm pretty sure they are.
I think Arkansas is safe. I really do.
So it might be a little hard for you to see, Jimmy, but in Lexington, actually, if you all didn't know, Lexington is hosting March Madness. I'm pretty sure this is the first time ever. Usually they don't like Lexington to host this because it's Kentucky, so they don't want to. Go ahead.
Are you talking about the Final Four, or are you talking about the first round games?
It's just the first round games. I'm sorry if I said that.
Yeah. Lexington, I think Lexington gets to host it like once every 4 years or something like that. But Kentucky can never play there.
Yeah, so we have done this before. That's my ignorance. I apologize.
Lexington has hosted the final games, Final Fours. They have done first round games, but I think they only do it every 4 years or something like that because they give everybody's other big arenas the courtesy of hosting first round games, second, third round games, and things like that.
Yeah, nobody said that Arkansas may get on the bubble if South Carolina beats them. Hey, welcome in, Southern Soul.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, if they lose that first game, against South Carolina, and that could hinder them. But I I, I mean I believe Arkansas will win that game.
Yeah. Um, here, since I got it up, I might have just done something wrong. Nope. I heard a weird noise come from my computer. I'm just gonna ignore it for right now.
But you've got it up there. I can see it. Us in the South. Our first round game would be against Troy. Uh, that's going to be a matchup 3 and the 14. That'd be a game that I think Kentucky just has to make sure that they come out, play defense, don't turn the ball over, and let's just get into our game right off the bat, and we can win that game by 15, 20, 25, 30 points.
Okay. So, is this a big surprise to everyone that Auburn's the top overall seed? I don't think so.
No, not to me. No, I believe they should be the number one overall seed. And people want to say Duke fans want to come on here and bash us. Hey, they have not played what Auburn has played all year.
Yeah, nobody said there's a scenario where St. John's could play Louisville or Arkansas in Rupp. That's kind of cool.
That'd be all right. I mean, that'd be great for people around here just to go watch them games. And if Louisville could be up here, that'd be awesome for them.
Yeah, Lord Withrow said, "Of course we can't play in Lex, but Duke gets to play in Raleigh." I noticed that. I'm like, that's ridiculous.
If you're an ACC team and you're ranked in the top 5, you're going to be in North Carolina, Greensboro, North Carolina, whatever arena that is a nice arena for them to play. They're going to be there because it's always made up good for the ACC, Duke, North Carolina fans.
Yeah, for sure. Oh man, doesn't the media just love Duke right now? They just love Duke.
I love them to death. But I mean, if they're going to keep on saying that Cooper Flagg is better than Jeremiah Broome, and see what the competition that Jeremiah Broome played against in the SEC versus what Cooper Flagg played against in the ACC, which is every team besides Duke and Louisville barely has a heartbeat. Clemson is right there with a heartbeat, but the rest of them are flatlining.
Yeah. Austin Vanderpool over in Loyal BBN Fan Shows chat said, "To be fair, I'm pretty sure Kentucky has played a first-round game in Louisville before."
Yeah, we played in the Yum Center. Yeah. The Yum Center, I think that was the year we won it in 2012. We might have played Western Kentucky the first game in the Yum Center for our first round game. But yeah, we played in the Yum Center, but you just can't play on your home court. You can play anywhere, but you can't not play on your home court.
Yeah. Man, let's take a look at Kentucky's bracket right now. Let's see. Did I just scroll past it, man? I probably did. Oh yeah, we're in the South. We got it looks like our first game right now, if the tournament tipped off today, we would play Troy. I don't think we have any issue with Troy at all.
No, I believe that's a 20-plus win. Depends on how Pope wants to keep the players.
And Drake would play UCLA. I'll put some respect on UCLA, man. Go ahead.
I'm going to give it to Drake.
Really?
Yes, that team is good. Drake is a good basketball team, and I believe that they will beat UCLA. And I think Kentucky will have to play Drake, and I believe that would be a great game. I still think Kentucky will win that game, but I believe Drake will upset UCLA in that game.
UCLA has had a rough year, but
Yeah,
I really like their coach, man. I do. Their
yeah.
coach is he's definitely unpopular with a lot of the media nowadays, just because of how hard he is. Like I don't know what game it was that they were playing, but he got ejected. He got
Well, that was
ejected, and
that
yeah,
was always Mick Cronin. He,
yeah.
he's done that, and he was at Cincinnati. He did it at Cincinnati. He did it at a couple other schools and things like that. But at UCLA, I know he badmouthed the players. He told them that they wasn't up to the par. They was not playing up to expectations. That he was the only player on the court. Well, not player. The only person on the court that was given any effort in practices. But he kind of fired them up, and they actually made a pretty good run since then. But I will take Drake in that game.
Yeah, that's a hot pick. I can't say that I can't see where you're coming from, but I really think that they're one of those teams that, just because they don't have all the tools that they need. They've had a lot of adversity over the season. I could see them making a I don't really want to say a Cinderella run because they're a 6 seed, but I could see them doing something. But look, man, if they win their first game, they got to play us. And I
Yeah.
think we're going to smoke them, man.
Yeah, I believe we'll win our. If the way it's set up, yeah, I believe we'll win our first, second games by 10 plus both games. Maybe 15, 20 plus both games, and I think we'll be rolling going into the being a Sweet 16 team.
Yeah, Eric, I'm going to take a break for a second and kind of respond to chat a little bit. Hey, Theo, welcome in. Of course, I'm not your usual host, but Mike's on vacation right now, so I'm trying to pick things up where I can. Clint, welcome in. Vandy, Chris, welcome.
Hey,
Well,
Vandy Chris. Hey, we're giving you love, Vandy Chris. We believe that Vandy's gonna win that game and
yeah,
go on till the Tennessee game, and that's gonna be a knockdown drag out right there. Tennessee and Vanderbilt.
let's see. Let's pull it back up. So, Mr. Vandy Chris, I unfortunately have Vandy losing to Texas A&M, just because I think Texas A&M is going to go on quite a run. But Jimmy, do you have them beating Texas, of course, and then Texas A&M as well too?
I've got Vandy beating Texas A&M and playing Tennessee in Nashville, and it's going to be a knockdown drag out. And Vandy has great defense. They I don't know who would have the most fans. There's probably going to be a lot of Kentucky fans watching that game, and I don't know who they'll pull for. I believe they'll pull for Vandy instead of Tennessee.
Okay.
If it was me, a Kentucky fan down there watching that game, I would be pulling for Vanderbilt to beat Tennessee.
I agree. Now, Jimmy, on mine and Mike's episode the other night, I picked Tennessee to lose their first game. I think Texas A&M will beat them if Texas A&M, of course, beats Vandy or Texas. But I really think Tennessee's going to lose their first game, especially if it's the Vanderbilt too. Vanderbilt has something to prove there for sure.
They got something to prove, and being right in Nashville. Hey, that's all they got to. They got the whole some bang right there in Nashville, playing Tennessee and beating Tennessee and knocking Tennessee out. And Vandy even maybe could move up another seed or something in the NCAA with a win against Texas A&M, and then beating Tennessee and going on and playing. It would probably be Auburn, but we just got to see. But they would be in the Saturday matchup.
So we're getting a lot of comments right now about this, about the All SEC team. So I'm going to switch over to that. Let's see. So of course, Coach of the Year Bruce Pearl.
Oh.
Player of the Year Janai Broom. I mean,
I'll take that. Hey,
yeah,
I'll take that.
Janai Broom's got the resume for sure. Scholar Athlete of the Year was Benjamin Bosman Verdonk. I don't know how to pronounce that, but South Carolina. Shout out to him.
Shout out to him. Yeah, shout out.
Newcomer of the Year, Chaz Lanier for Tennessee. I don't know about that.
I don't know that he's done more than Kobe Bryant.
Man, yeah. I mean, true that, man.
If you want to take a sharpshooter and put against each other, Kobe Bryant and Chaz Lanier, I'll take Kobe Bryant anytime, especially what he did the other day.
Yeah, Afio said, "I'm sorry, Kentucky tied the all-time top 15 wins and will lose to Drake. Believe it when I see it. They can't score with us." I agree with that, brother. Then JL Doc, Afio, I think Drake's not our first game. We were talking about UCLA and Drake. If the tournament happened right now, but JL Doc said teams playing Wednesday and Thursday just won't have any gas left in the tank to win the tournament. I mean, that's very true, man. Auburn's got the best chance to win the tournament right now just because they got that double bye and they've got the easy side of the bracket. But yeah, man, if you're a team like Texas A&M or Vanderbilt or LSU, which I don't think LSU is going to be able to have a shot.
But it's going to take 1, 2, 3, 4. You're going to have to win 5 games.
I think out of all the teams there, I think Mississippi State's probably got the best chance to do it. But just like how you were saying, JL Doc, it's going to be super hard to make it through that whole tournament and win the thing. You know, especially if you're playing a team that had a bye or an easy tree.
Well, yeah,
through it.
I would say Mississippi State has the best one because they're going to be playing LSU as the worst team. But you never know what LSU is going to do in the first round game. And then you got to turn around and play Missouri. And then you got to turn around and play Florida. And then you got to turn around and play if Alabama comes out or Kentucky comes out, Georgia, Oklahoma, whoever it is. These teams, it's not going to be easy for nobody. I don't even care for Auburn, Tennessee, Florida, and Alabama. They're going to have to win 3 straight games to win it.
Yeah. What do you think about this Defensive Player of the Year, Zakai Ziegler?
I think I think that Lamont Butler got robbed.
Well, I can definitely understand. Do I think Lamont Butler is a way better defensive player than Zakai Ziegler? Absolutely. But he just didn't play a bunch of games.
He didn't play all the games.
Yeah,
But if he would have played all the games, and you would just put the games together that Ziegler and him played against each other, and then you would have put the other games together, I believe Lamont Butler would have been the pick.
Yeah, my man Tyrone, man. Shout out to Tyrone. Tyrone said that someone from the SEC is going to win the whole thing. I agree with that.
Oh yeah, I think the SEC will win the NCAA championship this year.
Look at this comment. Look at this comment. He said Sam's hot dog stand is overrated. What are you talking about? Sam's hot dog stand ain't overrated. That's how you know I'm a Lexington native, though. I know about that Sam's hot
I
dog stand. Uh, Vandy Chris
yeah,
said
I don't know anything about that hot dog stand.
Vandy Chris said Ziegler should have won Defensive Player of the Year. That's what he said. I
Uh,
don't know, man. I don't know.
for,
I
for,
don't.
for all the games, Ziegler was never out. Basically, maybe one game or something. But if Lamont Butler wasn't out as many games as he was, I think him and Ziegler been real close. I mean, I don't mind giving it to Ziegler because I think he deserves it. But I think Lamont Butler would have been in the running if he would have played just as many games.
Yeah. Clint Hardy said, "I think the UK basketball team gets to the Sweet 16." I think pretty much all of Big Blue Nation is thinking that we're getting to the Sweet 16. I don't
Yeah.
really I haven't really heard a whole lot of people that are saying that we're going to lose first round or second round. I have heard some people say Elite 8, and I have heard some people say I have heard some people say we were going to win the whole thing. I don't know about that, man, but I will say the way basketball has changed with NIL. I mean, all these older teams are having a better shot at all this stuff. So, if you all in the chat noticed, of course, like we don't have any Kentucky names up here on this list. All SEC first team. We've got Janai Broom, Walter Clayton Jr., Mark Sears, Wade Taylor IV, and Zakai Ziegler on the All SEC first team. Still no Kentucky people mentioned. Then we get down here to the All SEC second team and third team. The only person that made the list was Otega Owe. No
Yeah.
Kobe Brea. I mean, again, like if we're going off of games played, of course, like Lamont Butler gets snubbed because of that. But how do we not even have Amari Williams on here?
Amari Williams and Kobe Barea. I mean, yeah, both of them missed. I think maybe did they miss one or two games, and that was about it. I don't understand why either one of them was snubbed from being a second or a third round.
Yeah, that's absolutely ridiculous to me. I mean, at least give Amari the a spot on here on the third team. You know, I mean, I think like we're just looking through here. Chad Baker Mazzara, okay, understand he's on the best team in the SEC. You know.
Yeah.
Then Alex Condon, you can't really argue with that either. You know, he's
No,
on Florida.
Yeah, he's a good player. Yeah. But,
Jason Edwards on Vanderbilt, though. Look,
as
Vandy.
a freshman, he's a freshman, right?
Yeah, look, Vandy, Chris.
There ain't no way. I know I love you, Vandy, Chris, and I know you and Big Mike, but there is no way that Jason Edwards. I know he threw up a bunch of numbers and he threw up a bunch of stuff from 30 feet out and just playing, but he was not a consistent player like Kobe Barea or Amari Williams. You put him up against a lot of the players, Jason Edwards against the SEC. He played good, but he didn't do what Amari Williams or Kobe Barea has done.
Lord Withrow just had a good chat. He said Zakai Ziegler averaged more turnovers than steals.
Well, yeah.
I mean, how do you get Defensive Player of the Year with more
I
turnovers than steals?
When you have more turnovers than steals, yeah, you should not be anywhere considered being a Defensive Player of the Year or honorable mention or anything. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the general consensus among Kentucky fans is that Kobe Brea got robbed. Kobe Brea 100% got robbed.
Yeah, he got robbed. I'd love to see him, Amari Williams on there, but I think Kobe got robbed way more than Amari Williams did. Let's
see here. So, you all, Jimmy gave me some very good news today. I'll tell you that we've got a bunch of recruiting stuff to talk about. Um, I think we're all excited. I think we're all excited for the SEC tournament. We've kind of talked about our picks, especially from the first few days of it and that kind of thing. So I think we're gonna get into some of our recruiting news. Of
Hey,
course,
I got a trivia question. If you want to put this one
yeah,
up.
yeah. Let's go ahead.
All right. Which person won an NCAA championship and he was actually a player and won as a head coach?
Oh, I know the answer to this one. I asked this the other day on my stream. Let's
Oh,
see
you
if
did?
anyone gets it. Yeah,
See
yeah.
if
Let's.
anybody gets it. Okay. Let me throw one more up.
Okay.
If you want to do this one.
Yeah, yeah. Let's see if anyone gets that. Again, the question.
See if yeah, which person was that won an NCAA championship as a player and as a coach, and there could be one more.
So, Austin Vanderpool got it first. Vandy Chris actually answered it too, but Austin Vanderpool got it first. He said Joby Hall. That is
Joby
correct.
Hall. Yep. Yes.
Let's see here. Lord Withrow says Williams was robbed way more than anyone else in his opinion. I mean, I agree with that, man. The guy got a triple double this year.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I mean, he flirted on a couple of them besides the one he actually, that he actually got.
All right. So with some of this recruiting stuff, Jimmy, where do you want to start with the recruiting?
It's just, well, we can, let's, we'll start with the 2006 recruits that we're looking at right now. I mean, I have heard, and this is being kept so quiet, I've not heard too much, but I have heard there could be one more player for this year's team. I don't know who it's going to be, if it's actually going to be a freshman. It could be a player from overseas. And the only overseas player that I would see right now, he made an official visit, I believe, at Illinois a week so back, but Luigi Suago, 7'3", 240 pounds from Italy. I don't know if he would actually be a player that will be able to play this year, but Mark Pope has hinted that there could be one more player this year added on with the recruits that we have coming in, which, we got Jasper Johnson and Caden Lewis and Malachi Moreno. That could be one more player, 4 players coming in. And I think that's basically what he is going to look at for the rest of his recruiting at Kentucky. I believe he'll look out and search and get 3, 4 players and then have players coming back and then hit the transfer portal, because the transfer portal is not going anywhere.
Yeah, so have you heard any more news about Nate Ament? Or is
Nate
it Ament?
Ament, Ament, however everybody, pronounces, but he's going to make his decision on April the 1st, which is, I guess, April Fool's Day. So, and that's the McDonald's All-American game. So he'll probably do it at halftime, something like that, before the game, after, middle of the game, after the game, and have a big announcement. But I believe right now it is going to be coming down. I think Louisville really has a good chance of getting him. Arkansas is jumping in the mix right now, and I think they're going to throw a lot of Tyson money at him. But there's a lot of money that they have already given out to recruits that is going to Arkansas right now. So I don't know how well that's going to work, but I think Calipari is going to try to make a run to get him. Duke is still in the running, but if he goes to Duke, I don't know who he's going to think he's going to play over, because Cam Boozer plays the same position that he does. And if he thinks he's going to play over Cam Boozer at Duke, I think he has another thing coming. But I believe the best thing, I don't know that Kentucky, there's this thing, I mean, you've seen it, fanscape, where the fans are putting money in. Louisville is number one. I think Kentucky is number two. But I think it's going to come down to Louisville and Arkansas. I don't know how much that that Pope might not want him in this system. Now, it could be a mistake to me to think that, but I think he is a player that wants the ball in his hands, and he's already projected like the number 6 draft pick, something like that. I don't know that he would fit the system.
Jimmy, you're getting a real big fan out of my boy Tyrone. He said you tell it like how it is.
Yeah.
Hey, so right now I'm looking at the college list I've got to put up. It looks like Arkansas is the only team out of all the schools that are interested in him. They're the only team that hasn't submitted an actual official offer to him.
No, I think Louisville is ranked number 1. I think Kentucky was number 2, and I think it was a fallout after that. I think the last I saw was like $70,000 to $80,000 for Louisville, and then I think Kentucky was like around 40 something thousand. So I mean, and Duke wasn't even like on the board. Arkansas wasn't on the board. So I mean, it could be Kentucky and Louisville. I'm not going to say this one because I got people telling me this way, that way. I'm just going to be neutral on this one and not say a word. If he comes to Kentucky, I'll be happy. If he don't, I'm going to be happy.
So it looks like Arkansas had him 2 days ago over there on the 8th.
Yeah, I think they had him in a visit. So.
Hold on. It's not showing the correct one. I apologize, y'all. I apologize. I've been sitting here looking at this screen, and you all haven't been able to. I apologize. But, yeah, as you all can see, his offers are Arkansas, Kentucky, Duke, Tennessee, and Louisville. And it looks like everyone's sitting here thinking that he's going to go to Louisville. Man, I can't understand how you watch Kentucky play Tennessee twice, get the win twice, and you still, you still don't even.
Well, the other team that was on his list was Tennessee, and he watched Kentucky beat Tennessee twice, and he was in Rep Arena the last time, and so I mean, there's interest. I know for sure, but it just. I don't know. This recruiting with him just feels like it's just a different feeling than I've felt with like Jasper, the Caden Lewis, along with even Caleb Wilson. I thought we had him, but the last 3 weeks it changed completely to North Carolina. This one, even Malachi Marino, that changed everything with Kentucky getting those 3 players. And a lot of people saying, well, we're not recruiting anybody from out of state. Well, Caden Lewis is out of state, but who cares about recruiting anybody from out of state when you got 5-star boys like Jasper Johnson and Malachi Marino?
I mean, man, you know what I feel like not a lot of people have talked about is the fact that we next season will have 4 Kentucky boys on our roster. Yes. And if that isn't playing for the name on the front of the jersey, I don't know what is.
Yeah. Jasper, then Moreno, Then you're going to have Travis Perry, Trent Noah. The next year we're in line to have Ty Kenny, that's from Kentucky, and he's a 2026 recruit.
Yeah, Lord Withrow says the whole fan stake stuff makes me want Nate to not come to UK because I do get that. If you're just gonna pick the school that just has the most,
that gives you the most money. Yeah.
Which here, let me see if I can pull that up really fast. I want to see what it is right now. I think you said Louisville was in the lead with it, right? Yeah. Yeah, Louisville's in the lead.
Louisville was in the lead by like about 20,000.
Yeah, this is it's 40. It's almost 40,000 now.
Wow.
Oh my goodness. Y'all Louisville fans hate Kentucky that much, don't you?
Well,
yeah, they do.
If he does not go to Louisville, they get all that money back. But if he goes to Louisville, they lose all that money, and hopefully he turns out to be, their superstar next year.
Yeah, man. Tennessee fans only have given $6,000. What is that? I thought it was Big Orange.
Yeah.
Oh man. So we talked about Nate a little bit. We talked about your 2026 guy. Let's see. Let me look on 24/7 really fast to see if there's anything else that I was missing. Bear with me. I'm sorry, Jimmy. I just had it all up here and I exit out of it. Let's see here. Class calculator. But you think don't mention the names just yet. But you think we're going to get some good transfers next year, right?
Yes, I know two right now that we are so involved with. I believe one of them we probably will have for sure. I think the other one is, I would say 90% chance we're going to get him also.
90%. Okay.
I could tell you who they are, but the season's still going on for both of the teams, and I don't want to put everybody's name out there, but there's two good players that Kentucky will love to have, and you would love to see them play at Kentucky next year.
What do you think's the right mixture for us, Jimmy, as far as young players and old players?
Shooting guards and a transfer point guard. I believe we're still going to have Kerr Carissa back. I believe he will use a red shirt. He'll be back. Then we're still going to have, Travis Perry. He can play the point, but we're going to have a Caden Lewis in for next year. Jasper Johnson, he can run the point. I believe that along with every other player that we have coming in right now that is on the roster or going to be a freshman next year, we're set at the point guard, shooting guard spot. We just need to get some shooting guards and maybe one or two big men. On top of that, maybe a swing forward. I believe we're going to be just fine after Pope hits the portal. Once he knows what is going on with everything of, I believe, him figuring out, I'm sure that Kerr Carissa is coming back.
Man, Vandy Chris just asked, what has Kerr Carissa done to prove anything that he deserves the hype that UK fans give him? Now, Vandy, I think you're. Look, I don't think we give him a lot of hype. I think we just love him. I mean, the guy plays with a lot of heart, and he puts it out on the floor. Of course, his stats aren't the prettiest thing in the world, but he's like our Draymond Green. He's going to get in people's
Yeah.
faces. He's going to talk trash, and he's going to hit a big shot. So, I think that's where a lot of that is coming from. What are your thoughts on that, Jimmy?
Well, I mean, look up all the way up until the Gonzaga game where he got hurt. He tried to even get back and play defense on a broken foot. I mean, that's a player you want to play for your team. He is gonna not give. He's not gonna give you 20 points a game. He's not gonna get 18 rebounds. But he's going to be that solid player that he is going to get into people's heads. He's going to talk a little smack. He is going to get steals. He's going to hit that right shot at the right moment when you need that shot. And he's going to come down and he's going to put his head like this, and he's going to be like, I told you so. And I want a player like that on our team. We did not have a player like that on our team this year since he got out.
Yeah.
We had a few that did a little bit here and there, but we need a player like Kirk Carissa. And I don't care if he pads the stats or not. He needs to be on that floor, and he's going to calm this team down. He's going to be a real good player. And Vandy Chris, I know the reason you're saying you want him just as bad as we want him.
Hey, going back over here to our transfer stuff, there is something that I heard that I'm going to get you to verify for me. But we'll talk about our first one. Of course, we stole 2 players from BYU last year. I mean, well, two key things from BYU last year. We stole their 3.
We only got 1 from BYU.
No, we got 2 players and the head coach. We got
the head coach, and then we got Jackson Robinson
and Colin Chandler. We got Colin Chandler from BYU.
Well, he was on a 2-year Mormon trip. So yeah, we got 3 players. There was 2 others that transferred out, and both of them went to Louisville. Waterman and the other player, he didn't play at Louisville this year, but he had an injury. And I think he'll be a great player for Louisville next year. But, yeah, they actually lost 5 players, the coach and everything, but 2 went to Louisville. But, yeah, there is another player, and I believe it's you might have just put it up there. I think it's Richie Saunders.
Yes, sir, right on cue.
The player is going to, I believe it's going to be set and done at the end of this year. He is not going to stay at BYU with A.J. DeBansa coming in, knowing that it's all going to be talk about A.J. DeBansa all year long, being the number 1 recruit, the number 1 player, and he's going to get all the limelight. I believe that Richie Saunders will come to Kentucky next year as a transfer, and he almost did it last year, but he just kind of thought it was a little bit, at the time, a little bit too quick. He had a wife, and maybe they had a kid together, but I think it's time for him that he wants to come to Kentucky.
So, Richie Saunders, you think he's a done deal?
I believe that's pretty much in the works deal right now. That this boy can score. He has led the Big 12 in 3-point shooting. He has destroyed teams like Kansas. He has destroyed a lot of teams playing against BYU this year. This boy can play. He does not fear no person. He is, I believe, that Colin Chandler and him together next year, that he can make Colin Chandler even just as good as him. Both of them being together and them being on the court with Jasper Johnson, Caden Lewis, Malachi Moreno, all the rest of this is going to be a crazy next year. You're going to love next year.
Yeah, man, I can't wait. Next year we're gonna be even better than what we are now, man. It's something else.
This is probably Pope's worst year that he's probably ever going to have.
So with you were talking about him scoring the ball. I've got some of his stats up for his recent games. Just some real notable ones. Iowa State, which they were at Iowa State and played, and they got the W in a double overtime. He had 23 points on 33% field goal per shooting, but he shot 40% from the three. That's really good. And then he kind of had a lackluster game against Utah and West Virginia. But
Yeah.
this is his last 5 games that he's played. Arizona State University, he had 26, shot 50% from the field, 50% from the three-point line. And against Arizona, he had 23 points, and he shot 80% from the field, 75% from the three. I mean, Jimmy, you're right. This kid can score the ball.
This boy is nasty, and when he comes to Kentucky, he's not going to be asked to do that. He's being asked to do that at BYU right now because BYU, besides him, don't have really anything on the scoring margin. But next year with him, Caden, Jasper Johnson, Malachi, Ortega's going to be back. You're going to have Garrison back. You're going to have a couple, probably another transfer on top of him, and then maybe another transfer on top of that. They're going to have a full roster of players that's played together for 9 months instead of being together for 3-4 months.
Let's talk about you mentioned another transfer. Let's talk about that other rumored transfer.
The kid from Wyoming.
Yeah, Obi.
Obi Agben is what I'm saying.
Let's just call him Obi.
I'm just going to call him Obi. But he's a 6'3", 180-pound guard. I think he can play both ways, but mostly he's a point guard. He is dynamic. He can get to the basket. He can shoot from outside. He can get assists like, it's coming out of the back of his head. He is an all-around good player, and this is one that I think Pope is looking at real hard also. And I think that he's been looking at the way that Pope runs the system also.
Now, he's a guard, right? Yeah, he is a guard.
Yeah, he's just a point guard. But he's 6'3". He can look over top of that defense. I mean, he can see things that a 5'10", 5'11", 6-foot point guard can't see. He can see over top and get to his position, get the ball to the right players. He's a dime, but he is so quick. He is super quick, kind of like Lamont Butler.
So his past 5 games, they're just as solid as Richie Saunders' last games, but he's kind of shot the ball worse than Richie Saunders. Has. But his team has lost the last 4 out of their past 5 games.
Yeah, he's just not into this. He don't have a great situation that he don't have a lot of players around him, and that might be why he shot the ball bad. He just the Wyoming team, I think they're like 12 and what are they? 12 and 19.
Yeah, let me ask a question to Big Blue Nation out here. Would you all be happy seeing this gentleman come in and maybe would he be starting over Jasper? You think Jasper starts?
No. Jasper, I believe, is going to start as the two guard. I think that Caden Lewis is going to be our point guard. So
Okay.
I would say that Obi come in right behind, you know, Caden Lewis, and see, I believe that Kerr Carissa can play the second guard and be backing up Jasper, but then he can move both ways, and then you got Travis Perry that can come up and back up both of those. So next year, Pope is going to make sure that we do not have a problem with point guards or the shooting guard, second guard, where we're going to be down with players.
It looks like Obi is getting about 2 turnovers a game with 3.5 assists. I'll tell you what, I'm not too happy with that assist to turnover ratio, but
I think that might be the situation he's in right now.
Yeah, it could very well be. He is 78th in points this season. He averages 17 a game, man. That's really good. Man, he would be good coming off the bench. He would be real good.
Yeah. He would not be a starter at Kentucky. He'd be a good player coming off the bench and getting on a team that he could be winning the national championship.
Afio said it's going to be a crowded backcourt next year. I will say, I kind of like that because all of our guards went down this season. So I kind of like having some cushion.
I want a cushion. I want that loaded backcourt. Hey, we went down Carissa. We went down Jackson Robinson. We was down Lamont Butler. And that was 3 players. It's like I think the last 2 games is the only 2 games we played with the last time for the 2 starting lineups being the same in the last 2 games we played. But then we've only played 9 or 7 games all year healthy. So
yeah,
I don't
7 games all year.
I don't want to get in that situation again. 7 games all season being healthy with every player.
Man, Afio also said the thing about Saunders is he's had a year now to see what Pope can do here. I mean, true that.
Yeah.
Not only just for Richie Saunders, but all the transfers are looking at that and they're like, oh man, we got Kentucky's out here running plays now. What is this?
This is the thing. Pope don't have to pick and choose now. He's got people coming. He's got people coming to him saying, I might want to be in your system. And he'd be like, hey, let's pick up the ball and let's go.
Yes, sir.
Let's pick up the ball and let's go.
Let's pull back up these brackets really fast. Oh man. So Jimmy, who do you have winning the SEC?
Oh. Let me pull it back up. Let me see. My
pick is Florida. I think Florida will do it.
I'm going to go ahead and say that Kentucky comes out, they beat Alabama, we lose to Florida, and Florida wins the SEC championship. And I don't think it's going to be over. I'm going to say it's going to be, I would say they're going to probably beat Auburn.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm going to say it's going to be Florida and Auburn in the championship game. I think we'll end up beating Alabama, but I think Florida will win that game against us. But hey, I'm going to be watching them games and I'm going to be cheering just because I picked, Florida winning don't mean that I think that's going to happen. But educational guess, I'm going to pick Florida to win that game against us on Friday.
I will say if Missouri beats Florida and we end up having to play Missouri, I think we beat Missouri again. But I will say that's when you need to put Auburn on notice
Oh, well,
because
yeah. If Missouri comes out and beats Florida, and then we beat Alabama and play Missouri, it just depends on how it runs. But if Missouri somehow came out and they beat Florida, and then we play Missouri, I'll put Kentucky in the championship game against whoever is at the top.
yeah, I think if we get that matchup against Missouri, I think we definitely take care of business again because we've
Yeah.
shown that we can beat them by 10 on their home floor.
Oh yeah.
So it would be a home game for us down there in Cattsville, and I don't think we'll have any issues. I will say though, again, like I kind of mentioned this a minute ago, that if we have to play Auburn again, I think it's time to put Auburn on notice. I do because I really think that Lamont wasn't 100% during the Auburn game. Bless you, Jimmy. I think Lamont wasn't 100% in that Auburn
No.
game.
No.
And I think that made all the difference in the world because, they were hitting some shots. But I wanted to ask you about this, Jimmy.
Goodness.
Bless you again. I
Sorry.
wanted to ask you about this. Since we're on the topic of Auburn right now, I've been hearing, I believe that it was Chad Baker-Mazara has been rumored to be interested in coming to play for Kentucky next year. Have you heard anything about that?
I have heard that rumor, but right now, from the last I heard, it's going to have to be until the end of the year.
Man,
and depends on what's going to happen if he goes pro. I mean, right now it don't look very promising, but it could be a possibility.
Yeah, Lord Withrow said that Missouri beat Florida already as well. I can't remember if that was at Missouri. I think it was at Missouri.
That was at Missouri.
Yeah, and
I'm pretty
it was
sure.
by 1 point. It was by 1 point. I will say Florida's resume is very legit. It is very legit.
Yeah.
Of course, we beat them. Let me actually pull up their stuff.
Well,
here.
we beat them the 1st of February, so they've gotten better. I mean, we've gotten better too, but we went through a lot more adversity than Florida has.
Let's see here. Yeah, James just put in a good comment. I'll put it up here in just a second after I get this screen switched over. He said, if we play Auburn, we'll beat them and take the belts from them and spank them like redheaded stepson. Hey,
No.
I think a lot of UK fans are going to remember that what they did at Rupp, and I mean,
There's going to be a
definitely
lot
something
of
to look
Kentucky
for.
fans. There's going to be a lot of Kentucky fans that I know remember that. But you know what? There's going to be a lot of Kentucky players and Mark Pope. If we do get to that championship game on Sunday at 1 o'clock playing Auburn, Mark Pope is going to put that in their heads. Hey, look what they did to you on your home court.
Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right. I mean, this team. Look, they didn't. It's very interesting because their heart was not in that Arkansas game. Our team wasn't. Our team's heart was not in that game like how the fans were. But I will say now that Arkansas beat them at Rupp, I think if we got another chance at Arkansas, we would absolutely fry them. And
If Arkansas come all the way out to meet us in the SEC championship game, I know Kentucky win that game. I just don't see that they'll come out that far, but I mean, anything is possible.
Yeah. So the Missouri-Florida game was actually at Florida. And here's the interesting thing about Florida's losses. They lost at Kentucky by 6. They lost at home to Missouri by 1 point, and then they lost at Georgia by 5. They have not lost by a lot. They are
No.
very, very good, man. Very good. It is a great win for us that we have that on our belt. You know,
Yes.
that is definitely helping us out right now.
That win is right up there with Duke Gonzaga.
Yeah, I think it's a better win than the Duke one, to be honest with you, man. I really
Yeah. I mean, I would put right now. I'd put Florida, Duke, Gonzaga, and then the 2 Tennessee wins, home
yeah
and away. I mean that, but yeah, I would put Florida is the best because everybody's saying that a lot of analysis, everybody talking about the NCAA, they think that Florida might be the best team in the SEC.
yeah. I mean, I personally think so. I mean, look,
I mean,
man.
I know we beat them at home, but still, it's a win.
Yeah. With Tennessee, I'm gonna try to scout out some of these SEC teams in the actual bracket for the NCAA tournament. Looks like we've got in the SEC, of course, playing in Lexington in their first game. We've got Auburn. I don't think they're going to have any trouble out of this tree at all. I will say that Memphis West Virginia game. West Virginia is down like their entire roster, and they're still figuring out how to win big games. And I think that Memphis West Virginia game is going to be really, really good. So I highly implore everyone to go watch that. Let's see here. Tennessee on the road is second best win, Lord Withrow said. Son of a Gunner said, did y'all hear what the Missouri fans were yelling at the ref? I did not. Go ahead and put that in the chat for me, Son of a Gunner. Let's see here. Besides that, in that bracket, hey, Clemson is a team that can beat Auburn. I will say that. They play the right style. They are a team that wants to upset you. They upset Kentucky, of course that was at home, and they upset Duke, which was also at home. So, I mean, they beat Louisville as well, I'm pretty sure. No, Louisville beat them.
Louisville beat Clemson pretty good.
Yeah.
But I still think Lipscomb, that's going to be a game that Clemson don't have to worry too much about, but they better, make sure they scout good. But that Oregon game against Liberty, I think Oregon will be fine. But I believe Clemson should be able to come out and win that. But if Auburn and Clemson play, that's going to be a pretty good game. But I'll tell you, I would not. Memphis and West Virginia is going to give Auburn a pretty good game.
Yeah. I mean, I personally think if West Virginia goes to play Auburn, I think Auburn just kills them. I think Auburn smokes them. They just don't have the depth and the big guys to hang with them. Memphis
is a little bit better.
Yeah, they've got
matchup.
They've got. I think they have 3 star. Like their front court is. There's some stars, but Memphis also lost to Arkansas State, which was a quad 4 team at the beginning of the year. But that is the beginning of the year, man. That kind of stuff does happen every now and then, especially with the way basketball is nowadays. Over in the West, Florida, the number 1 overall seed there. I don't think Florida's going to have any trouble out of Norfolk or Gonzaga.
Gonzaga's not going to give them that much of a game. I believe Florida win that game by like 10 plus.
Do you think New Mexico can beat Gonzaga? That's Richard Pitino. That's Rick Pitino's son. I think so. I really think so. I think Gonzaga. I think Gonzaga's not what they used to be. I think they're in a down year right now.
Yeah,
and I think this would be a statement win for Richard Pitino for sure.
Yeah, I would love to see that. I would love to see Rick Pitino's son win. I'm in the last 4 or 5 years, all you've talked about is Gonzaga. Gonzaga never they're good, and then they don't make the Final Four, or they get upset. And I'm glad that we get to play them again next year and the year after that on our schedule. But yeah, I would think that New Mexico will give them a pretty good game, and I would say that could be a 9-over-8 upset right there.
Yeah. And then on down to Providence, we've got Missouri, McNeese, Maryland, Yale. Missouri's going to absolutely torch any of those teams. I don't think Missouri's going to have any problem at all right there.
I would tell you, if Missouri plays Yale, that's going to be Yale is going to try to make it their game, and
Okay.
if they make it their game to where they control the game, Missouri could be in trouble on that one. But I think Missouri has more firepower that they will be able to come out of that win. But Yale is a team that I would put over top of Maryland coming out in the first round.
Jimmy, I don't know what it is, man, but me and you host our little show today, filling in for Mike. And we had Vandy Chris pop up in here, so that's a Vanderbilt fan. We've had 2 Louisville fans. The second one just popped up. How are you doing, Rip Watts? And then I think all we're missing now is a Duke fan and a Tennessee fan. I think that's all we're missing.
Hey, welcome them all in.
Yeah.
I mean, if they ain't talking smack, I'm gonna tell my opinions. But right now, I'm not talking smack a bit against Louisville or Vanderbilt or Duke, anybody.
Ooh, since we're on the topic right now, Jimmy,
Oh, there we go. Okay.
I will say I got some hate from Mike. About this a couple weeks ago. Bear with me just a moment while I try to pull up the race for it. Who is your coach of the year for college basketball?
Oh, mine? Oh, I'm taking Mark Pope.
I'm taking Mark Pope.
I'm taking Mark Pope.
So I don't know if this is the official list or not. This is just what Google popped up on the first try of this. But we've got Bruce Pearl at the top.
Well,
Pat Kelsey.
I could be coach of the year if I had almost the #1 team starting out at the beginning of the year. Pat Kelsey, yeah, I give it to him. He basically was the same thing as Mark Pope. He had to start from scratch. I would give him right there. I give it to Pope right now. What's the other ones?
We've got Dennis Gates, which is Missouri. I think that's a good pick right there. I really like that he got mentioned. And then Tom Izzo. Tom Izzo is having him a great year right now, man.
Yeah, but Tom Izzo ought to be doing that every year. He's been a coach for how many years? 40? He ought to have. He ought to be in the running for coach of the year every year. Just don't throw him up there when you have 2 brand new coaches like Pat Kelsey, Mark Pope, and Missouri's coach. He's doing great, but I'm gonna tell you what, it's hard to do it. You're at Louisville, you're at Missouri. It's not that hard to do it, but when you're at Kentucky, it is hard to do it. As being the coach of the year, and I'll give it up to Mark Pope.
The good thing about coach of the year is it's not like rookie of the year. It's not like you can only win it in 1 year, So I definitely see some coach of the years coming in Mark Pope's future. But my personal pick for this year, coach of the year, I just have to give it to Pat Kelsey. Don't get me wrong, Auburn is in the best conference, and they've got the best record in the best conference. But man, I will say I just feel like the way Pat Kelsey, like you said, he came in just like Mark Pope did.
Well, he's number two in the ACC.
Yeah, and I will say if Pat Kelsey wins the ACC tournament, I think just go ahead and give it to him. You
Well,
know?
it could be, but uh put Pat Kelsey and Louisville in the SEC and see if he's the
Yeah,
coach of the
yeah.
year and the number two team in the SEC. Now, I mean, you could throw it both ways. Hey, I'm giving it up. Pat Kelsey, I like him. I believe he's going to be a great coach. Him and Pope really get along good together. I don't think it's going to be a bad rivalry for the rest of, the 10, 15, 20 years that both of them's going to be coaching at Kentucky. There's going to be heated ones, but I think they're both, like, educationally wise, they will not let this get bigger than the state of Kentucky, and they will be able to control both teams. We're gonna lose some games. They're gonna lose some games, and it's gonna be a fun rivalry.
I agree with you, Jimmy. I will say the thing that I don't like about Pat Kelsey is that he's so likable. Why is the guy
Well,
so
I mean,
You know, I'm like,
he
I'm like,
well, hey, Pope does try. He does the same thing. Everything he's likable just the same way. But I mean, both of them, they own the fan base, and the fan base is they both schools, Louisville and Kentucky, is backing both Kelsey and Pope all the
yeah.
way through. And this is going to go on for 10, 15, 20 years, however long the coaches want to be there.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I was getting at is that, of course, with it being Louisville, we're supposed to hate him, but I'm just saying Pat Kelsey is
Oh,
so hard to hate, man. He's just
yeah,
so
I
hard to
know.
hate.
Yeah.
I will say, it is interesting that Kentucky and Louisville both landed very similar coaches who coach very similar styles, and
Yeah.
I love that they both landed here in the first year because now what's going to happen is however long their respective careers are at their schools, we're going to be able to have a direct comparison to each program.
Yeah.
It's gonna be, for the next foreseeable future, we're gonna be able to have these conversations like this, and man, it's just gonna be awesome. A lot of great games will be played. I see a lot of heartbreak on either side, and I see a lot of fuel getting added to the flames as well. So,
Hey,
oh
yeah,
man,
it's gonna be fun because, yeah, I mean, like, you can say, okay, Louisville won the ACC, Kentucky didn't win the SEC, Kentucky won the SEC, they didn't win the ACC. We beat, okay, now right now Mark Pope's got he's got the advantage because he beat the best team and the second best team in the ACC with Duke and Louisville. The only other team, we only lost by 4 points at Clemson. So we're 2-1 against ACC, and we're 1-1 against, or 1-0 against Pat Kelsey and Louisville.
hey, son of a gunner just put in a good chat. He said the Pat Kelsey and Mark Pope situation is just like the Joe and Denny situation, Joe B. Hall and Denny Crum.
Well,
So, I
yeah,
mean,
yeah,
that's
way back in the day, and back then they hated each other. They hated and despised each other until they got through coaching, and then they become friends and had hell, I think they had a wildlife show. They go out and hunt and fish and everything. So Pope and Kelsey might do that later on after their careers are over. But I don't think with Pat Kelsey and Pope, I think they'll be. I think it'll be a good rivalry and a good friendship. They're not going to talk bad about each other because
yeah, no way.
these days you got to be respectful for the teams you're playing against, because if you don't, karma's going to come back and get you.
Yeah, for sure. I agree with that, Jimmy. I'm gonna pull up a funny picture really quick. Man, I wonder how many times this has been shared by Kentucky fans to Louisville fans. This picture right here, man, cracks me up. Of course, like this is there's nothing wrong with what happened in this situation during the Kentucky Louisville game, but it's just very funny that this is how things ended up. Let's see here. Where they had that fight and Mark Pope had Pat Kelsey in a headlock.
They was saying it was in a headlock and everything. I mean, it looked like
it wasn't a headlock, but
it was just, I mean, there was nothing ever came out of it, and
nothing.
There was not even a technical called on that play. I think it was just a common foul, or it was just out of bounds play.
Yeah. I think Brandon Garrison fell over into the Louisville bench, and then they just started chirping at each other. So Pat Kelsey and Mark Pope got up in there really fast to kind of calm it down. Son of a Gunner said, "Classy guys." They are very classy guys, both of them.
Both of them are. Yeah.
And I will say though that it's just funny because you know how petty Kentucky fans and Louisville fans are, man. If we have a chance to talk some kind of trash towards one another, or even if it is just some happenstance photo that just happened to happen, it's we're gonna take the extra mile. That's just how these programs are. Oh man. Jimmy, we talked about quite a lot today. We covered everything over from recruiting. We got real deep inside of March Madness, and of course, a lot of these predictions that we made for the national tournament aren't just going to come true simply just because of Selection Sunday, coming up, and things will be changed around. And of course, we're human; we get things wrong, anyways. But I think the SEC tournament's going to go down. I think one of us, whether it's me, you, or Mike, I think one of us has the winning bracket. I do. I think just picking Auburn to win the SEC tournament's a little too easy. Of course, like all the stats back them up. And don't get me wrong, but their last few games, man, they've shown that they are really human for sure.
Yeah.
And man, I want to take a moment here too, just to kind of let you all know about our Discord. So we have a Discord over for the Loyal BBN Fans Show. I have my own as well, but I'm not going to advertise that while I'm on Mike's channel. I will say, over in our Discord, we like talking about Kentucky basketball. We like talking about Kentucky sports in general. I'm going to show you all just a little bit. Let me see if I can get it to pop up. Yeah, right here. So of course this is our Discord. We've got Pope's cats. We even talk about some lady cats. You all know. James said, "I wash my hands, wipe my feet, and hit that like button." That's right. Don't let me see any dirty hands in here. Me and Jimmy watching for y'all. Don't let us see any dirty hands.
Yeah.
Y'all go hit that like button.
Hit that like button. Subscribe, hit that like button, yeah.
Yes, sir. So, over in our Discord, we talk a lot of Kentucky sports in here, man. I'd highly encourage you all, if you haven't made it over there yet, please do so, because here, I'll actually put out another link in both chats right now. But please do so, man. We update it all the time for when we're going live and that kind of thing. So, like I said, I highly encourage you all to go over there and give it a look. If you see some news in there that you want to share with other BBN fans, it's the best way to do it. It's small right now. We don't have that many members in it, but man, you know what I say. Just one person is too many almost sometimes. It's hard to believe that we have the opportunity to come out here and talk about Kentucky sports like this, Jimmy. So every view, every like is super appreciated over here, man. We've got a good group of guys. But I think I'm gonna call the streamer out here. You know, we went for about an hour and 40 minutes, so you know it was definitely a good show. Jimmy, do you have any closing remarks? Anything for the BBN to look forward to in the coming week? Or just something to fire up our fan base and get us excited about this SEC tournament.
Well, hey, there ain't nothing to get excited about except for, yeah, SEC tournament is here. We have games starting Wednesday. We're not playing until Thursday, but hey, we've got games all week long. Tune in and watch the SEC. Watch this tournament, because this tournament is going to mean more. Any tournament there is, the SEC tournament is going to mean more. And just like the motto is, it just means more. This is you're going to want to watch all these games, because it's going to be exciting. It's not going to be a first round game of the ACC when you're just like, wow, this team's going to win by 25, or it's going to be a 32-14 game at halftime. You know, it's not going to be like that. We're going to have exciting games. The SEC is going to be exciting. Kentucky's going to bring it. I believe every SEC team's going to bring it as much as they can. This is going to be fun all the way up until Sunday afternoon, and we get to see where the Cats are going to be in hopefully a 3 seed. Whether it's a 3 seed, maybe a 2 seed, but it looks like right now a 3 seed. We're going to have fun. Let's just enjoy the rest of this week and just have fun.
Yes, sir. I think well said, man. Well said. We'll see if we get some more shows going on throughout the week. I'm sure we will.
Oh, yeah. I'd love to. Yeah.
So, man, our first game's on Thursday, right? And, man, I can't wait. I can't wait. I'm going to be anxious the whole week until we get to play.
The game start at 1 o'clock, and our game is not till 9:30. And I'll be like, all day long, I'll be like, oh, well, I'll watch this game. I'll watch that game. But I'm just going to be, can we just go ahead and play?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But guys, to all the loyal BBN fans out there, to the people tuning in on KY Live, thank you all so much for all of your all support, and whether it's on Facebook, TikTok, or here on YouTube. You know, just all your views, all of your likes, and when you share your posts and that kind of stuff for us, it is so rewarding. And you know, I'm tripping up right now, man, because like I'm still it's hard to get my head wrapped around that we get the opportunity to do this. I appreciate everyone for coming in here and checking out mine and Jimmy's show. I know. I'm not as handsome of a fella or as funny as a fella as Big Mike is, but you know we're gonna try to take care of Mike's show while he's out on vacation. I don't know when he gets back, but you know I appreciate you all rocking it out with us until he does get back. I think that about does it, man. Thank you all once again. Alrighty, Jimmy, we are no longer live, of course.
All right.
If you want to, I'm still down to help you out.
Let me see if I got it. Let me see. Let me plug my computer is almost down to like a 1/4%.
Okay.
Let